I've already discussed the greatest movies of all time at length. You can go check that out on my channel. Looking at the list, I think I was a little disappointed with it. I could have brought on a few more names. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Kung Fu Panda, Saw, a couple others like that. But that is the definitive list. There are no other choices than those five. I think that's safe to say. That is the definitive list. So I thought to make the long-awaited sequel to talk about the 5 worst movies of all time. Again, I would like to preface, this is the definitive list. There is no other version of this list that exists. This is the definitive 5 worst movies of all time. Inarguable. Okay? Simple. Period. End of story. The discussion has ceased. The case has been closed. That's it. That's all. So, with that said, let's get started. Of course, the 5th worst movie of all time is the Star Wars prequels. I already went ad nauseum on Revenge of the Sith. That movie was horrendous. I would like to preface a couple things. Number 1, I understand that the people who like those movies now are nostalgic for them. Does that change anything? No. Nostalgia does not make bad things good. I grew up watching garbage like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Now, I may be nostalgic for it, but it's still pointless brain-rotting garbage. I'm not really interested in having a discussion about it's nostalgic, dude. That means it's automatically good. No. Those movies are terrible, all of them. There is not one line of dialogue that makes me believe the characters believe in what they're saying. There is not one action scene that is even remotely visually interesting or exciting. There is literally nothing of substance in those movies. To call them movies is an insult, and it spits in the face of the art of cinema as a whole. So I really don't feel like I need to discuss this further. Everyone knows they're bad. And don't come up in my comment section telling me, well, I like it for the memes. Liking something for the memes is the lamest excuse to do mental gymnastics to like a movie, okay? Period. That's just embarrassing. Memes that make fun of the movies are laughing at them, not with them. So if you like the memes, you like laughing at the movie. I like plenty of cheesy, schlocky stuff myself. But I laugh with the movie. I'm not laughing at it. I enjoy it. I embrace the silliness. These movies are just terrible. The dialogue is terrible. The plots make no sense. Why does Obi-Wan feel like being slightly elevated over Anakin gives him an advantage when Anakin can jump 50,000 feet in the air without breaking a bone? Why don't they run fast like they do at the beginning of Phantom Menace? Does General Grievous know that Darth Sidious is Palpatine or whatever? I don't know. I don't care. And I'm not reading any stupid Star Wars book or watching the cartoons either. Star Wars is garbage. Star Wars is a dead franchise. That franchise sucked in the beginning, but I understand you can make the case that Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back have cultural relevance. I know they saved Hollywood, whatever. Doesn't matter. That was 50 years ago. And here's the hottest take of all. Everybody knows that The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie. Way better than Empire. There's actual stakes, there's actual tension, there's drama, there's characters that you like and care about, and it's just all around the best movie of the series, period. Everybody who disagrees with me is an idiot, okay? Which actually, no, I don't think I will ever watch that movie again because, again, it's Star Wars. But regardless, that's all there is to it. I feel so bad for people who try to do these loop-de-loop mental gymnastics to try and justify why these movies are good.
Star Wars prequels have pretty much always been some of the most criminally underrated movies of all time.
And as a huge defender of the prequels, I figured it would be a great time for me to lay out all of my reasons I love those movies.
Now, Revenge of the Sith, I rewatched it recently. It's good. It's a good movie. Revenge of the Sith, the last 2/3 of it is really good.
I legit want these people studied and analyzed. Why do you like the prequels? Please tell me in the comments below. And don't tell me it's because of the memes. Don't tell me it's because of nostalgia. Don't tell me like those other idiots did in my Revenge of the Sith video. Well, I can like it if I want. I can like sticking dog turds up my ass too, but I don't do that. Horrendous movies, complete waste of time, terrible dialogue, boring action. There's no emotion anywhere in the movie, except for shame and guilt for having watched it. Number 4. I was debating on whether or not to put this at number 3 or number 2, but I think this is probably the least offensive movie. It's called Searching. It came out in the ancient year of 2017. Oh, by the way, spoilers for all these movies because I don't know. In fact, I have not watched this movie since the theater. The only thing that I really remember about it was leaving extremely pissed off. The plot of the movie is that a dad is searching for his daughter. She's been cutting class. She's been sending money off into the ether to random strangers on the internet. Nobody knows her. Nobody's talking to her. She's basically an outcast. To the movie's credit, like most mystery movies, the setup and the actual mystery is always more interesting than the payoff itself. I hate those Knives Out movies. I only saw the first one. I hate the Christina Aguilera movies. I hate Sherlock Holmes. I hate mysteries. The big reveal at the end of Searching, despite all the buildup, despite all the seeming red herrings, basically what happened is she fell down in the woods. Absolute waste of time and money. Searching. Don't watch it. Searching. I'm searching for a movie that doesn't make me want to kill myself. Number 3, Man of Steel. Of course I had to get a Zack Snyder superhero-ish movie on there. You can't really call Man of Steel a superhero movie because Man of Steel, Superman, doesn't save anybody. In fact, he's a genocidal maniac who knocks down buildings. Superman, the quintessential symbol of truth, justice, and the American way, levels Metropolis, just wipes out skyscrapers ad nauseum, and murders people. There were people in those skyscrapers, and Superman did not give a fuck. Superman should not, in any context, directly or indirectly, murder people or knock down buildings. And he does both. Not to mention the fact that the colors are muted, it's ugly looking, everything's disgusting. The Zack Snyder bros, like what you like, but I hate you. I have very little respect for you because you're popcorn eating cows. Have a little self-respect, have a little dignity. Like the real Superman. Christopher Reeves, that's the Superman. I want to see Superman save a helicopter. I want to see him save a bus full of school children and be happy doing it because he enjoys doing things for other people because that's Superman. I cannot remember the last superhero movie I saw pre the year 2000 where a superhero goes out of his way to save somebody. That scene in the original Christopher Reeve Superman when he saves the Lois Lane from the helicopter is amazing. The people are happy, they're cheering, yay, it's Superman, yay! That is what I want to see with the Superman character. And murdering civilians and knocking down buildings. Does this guy think he's Israel or something? Number 2, Babylon from 2022. The premise of the movie is that it follows a couple of actors in Hollywood during the late 1920s from their transition from silent films to sound films. And as someone who enjoys 1920s culture, 1920s music, 1920s movies, and of course the greatest president of all time, the greatest Republican president of all time, Warren G. Harding, the most underrated president of all time. Every time I see one of these top 10 presidents, top 5 presidents, he never cracks the top 5. Which sucks because he was the most popular sitting president of all time up until that point. Which is great, because he's a G. Warren G. Harding, bro. I was very much looking forward to seeing Babylon. Brad Pitt is in it, Margot Robbie's in it, a couple other actors, and the first 5 minutes of the movie, I kid you not, an elephant defecates on a man's face. Some genius I don't know who wrote this. I don't want to know. I don't even want to know their name. Some genius thought, you know what would be funny in this really mature movie about existential crises? Poop! And I knew, right when I saw that this movie was going to be a big piece of shit. It's not a very subtle analogy. But then again, there's nothing subtle about the movie. Excessive graphic content, lots of excessive drug use, excessive swearing, excessive nudity, sex, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that in movies. But I wanted a real mature story because I actually am quite a big fan of this period in American history and certainly in cinema history. The 1920s were goated. So Margot Robbie's character is a fictionalized version of Clara Bow. Clara Bow was a superstar back in those days. She was what was known as the it girl, which basically means she was very attractive. She had this charisma about her. Very great lady. God bless her. May she rest in peace. Margot Robbie plays a foul-mouthed idiot from Iowa or something. The whole thing just falls apart. And this was a long as fuck movie. This was like 3.5 hours. I shit you not. It was actually over 3 hours long. There was maybe 20-25 minutes of content that they could have stretched out into an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Maybe 2 hours. That is maybe all capitalized, highlighted, boldened, italicized, parenthesed, exclamation points, quotation marks, ampersands, semicolons, the whole kit and caboodle. Babylon, I think, pissed me off the most because I was actually expecting it to be good and I was hoping it would be good. Oh God. Anyway, Babylon, don't go anywhere. Thankfully, it bombed at the box office and nobody liked it. Deservedly so. You start a movie with an elephant shitting on a guy's face in graphic detail. Like you see the cheeks open up and everything. Of course no one's going to like that. When I went to see it, it was opening weekend. There were maybe 2 people in the theater and they were both elderly. And the elderly will see any movie. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. It actually insulted my intelligence that I was looking forward to this movie so much, and it disappointed me so hard. And I will never forgive it for that. But even Babylon, in its elephant-shitting horrors, cannot compete with the worst movie of all time. The biggest piece of shit that has ever been excreted out of a butthole in the history of the universe. Godzilla 1998. Before I made this list, I was actually debating on which movies I was going to put up here. And I almost included 10,000 BC. Roland Emmerich is a hack fraud. He sucks. His movies are not funny. They're not exciting, they're not interesting, they're not complex, but they're not stupid either. Like, they just kind of exist, but they also suck. So they're stupid, but they're not in a good way, like, oh, I enjoy that. It's just stupid. It's just terrible. Perhaps the worst movie of all time. I mentioned in my top 5 video that I'm a huge fan of the Godzilla franchise. Great character, great legacy, lots of fun. Love all the movies, except for the Heisei era. I wasn't big on that one. Hate this movie. Of course, the character looks nothing like Godzilla, acts nothing like Godzilla. He's not a threat. He's not intimidating. He's not angry. He just runs away from helicopters 1/10 of his size, as if they're going to do anything anyway, which they don't. How does a 500-foot tall dinosaur disappear in the most populated city in the world without a trace? Why does every character act like the comedic sidekick on a Saturday morning cartoon? Broderick is the worst actor of all time.
That's a lot of fish.
Suffice it to say that the Saturday morning cartoon where Godzilla goes around and fights monsters and robots and all kinds of crazy shit is more respectful and honorable of the Godzilla character than the $150 million Hollywood blockbuster. I made this video so I could rant about Godzilla 98. I just needed to. I don't know how Supernova is going to fare. The title's not grabbing me. I think I just might stick to the real Godzilla, the Toho. I'm more excited to see what Toho's doing. -1 was excellent. Got an Academy Award. I hope the sequel's as good. But only time will tell. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like any of these movies, especially the Star Wars prequels, please tell me why down in the comments below. I am morbidly curious as to what is wrong with you. But hey, I guess cinema and art is subjective, so it's fine. But my opinions are right.